Hello, and welcome to How to Use Google Photos. This is a beginner's information share and a demonstration introducing you to Google Photos, an overview of what we'll cover. I'll define what Google Photos is, I'll show how to access it, and give some tips and tricks on how to use it. My name is Crystal Hooper. I work at the Somerset County Library System as a branch manager at the North Plainfield location. I got my degree from the University of Alabama, and I'm also NJALA's digital liaison. All right, enough about me. What is Google Photos? It's like a virtual photo album. You can sync your devices like smartphones and tablets and auto backup your images and videos. You can access your files through your Google account on any device. You can enjoy auto organization, making it easier to search for your photos. It's very easy to share photos with contacts. You can also edit photos and video clips right in the app. Google Photos app makes it easy to also order prints and other photo projects. And you can link your other Google supported apps to get even more out of your experience. So let's dive right in and try it. So I just launched a new Google tab. And of course, you can just type in the search Google Photos, or you can use the app, which is on the upper right hand of the screen, and it looks like a 3x3 grid made of dots. To me, it looks like a waffle, so I often call it a waffle. And you can pull that up and you can search for photos from here. And it has the same icon you saw on our welcome slide. So I'm in NJALA's account, and when I launch it, it looks like we've never used Google Photos. And this is okay, because if you've never used Google Photos or haven't synced an account from your phone to auto backup your photos, this is what the default screen is going to look like. And it's giving you some suggestions right away, how you can download the app from either Android or the Apple Store. And then you can back them up from your phone, your tablet, any device that has a camera built in. But let's look at some of the navigation options. You've got the default for photos. It's got the blue bar on the upper left where my icon, my mouse is hovering. If we had photos and we clicked on there, they would start displaying on this screen. You've got Explore, so once you've added some photos, you can start searching for them. You've got the easy sharing icon. You've got access to the print store right away. Once we get some photos listed in here, you'll see you can build albums. You can mark them as your favorite. You can even archive folders, lock them, put them, and recycle them in the trash. But one thing I really, really want to show you before we add the photos is just be cautious of your storage space. NJALA uses a free Google account like you might use for your personal use. So Google gives you 15 gigabytes of storage. If you've attended any of my previous Google demonstrations, you know that I've shared things about the Google Drive and the Gmail. Those are besides photos, Drive and Gmail is where the majority of your storage for your Google account gets used up. If you're working with like a Google Doc, a Google slide deck, things that are built in the app, it doesn't count against your storage space. What does, however, count against your storage space are like Microsoft Word documents or PDFs that were made in a different application than Google and then saved to your Google account. So you'll see for NJALA's purposes, they're about halfway through their storage space. Now, if you know anything about digital media, like photos, videos, GIFs, anything like that, that takes a lot of data, right? Each file has a data allotment that's saved to it. The more elements that are saved, the length of the clip, the size of the photo, that all contributes to storage space. So Google Photos can become the #1 thing that takes up a lot of your gigabyte space in a free Google account. Now, of course, if we click on this unlock storage discount button, it's going to give us some offers. So it's not, 49 cents for 3 months. It doesn't seem like a lot of money. But of course, in a subscription-based society where everything costs money, things can add up quick. So just know what your needs are. 2 terabytes, that would take you an awful lot of photos and time to fill up. But you are going to do what's right for you personally or for your organization. Okay, so let's add some photos so we can start playing around in here. So you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, there's that little settings wheel, which will give you some more advanced features. Once you've played with photos in the default mode that Google provides a little bit, you can go in there and you can click some things. You've got a question mark, so if you have help or need help about what you're trying to accomplish in Google Photos, you can find that there. I've also got a resource guide at the end of the slide deck I'll show you that will provide you the link to, but we're going to focus on this upload. And so I'm going to left click on that. And it's going to ask me where do I want to pull them from. And if you've been using Google for a long time, you may remember that photos can still be stored in the Google Drive, but there was a time when there was no Google Photos and everything got stored in the Google Drive. So you can pull photos from the drive and move them over into Google Photos. But today I'm going to focus on uploading them from the computer. And I got a photo album already set up. So I found this saved to my PC in the downloads folder, but I made this file for us today. These are some photos from the last NJALA conference. So I'm just highlighting them all and going to upload them at the same time. Now, Google's given me an option right away, which again, like I already warned you, Google Photos can become the biggest consumer of your gigabyte space. Do you want to store them in the original quality, no change, to the size of the photo or video? Or do I want to do storage saver? So that's going to reduce the quality. It doesn't mean the picture is not going to be visible. And not to lecture you on what happens with image quality, and it's not going to make it necessarily pixelated. It just means it's saving it at a lower resolution. For today, we're just going to do it as original quality because we don't have that many images to share. And again, there's help. You can always look for the little question mark anywhere on a Google page to get some further information. All right, so I clicked continue, and you see in the bottom left hand of my screen, it very rapidly uploaded all of those images. There were 13 of them. And you might be wondering too, like, how is it saying this image is from Wednesday, November 22nd versus these other images that are from, say, Tuesday, June 6th? The photos were taken with a phone. The phone saves location and like time and date settings where it's captured. So that's tied into that digital file. I saved it to the computer, it pulled all that info from the phone's record, and now it's saved it to the digital space in the Google Cloud. So that's a nice kind of neat trick. You can always go into settings on your phone, tablet, whatever you're using to take pictures, you can turn that setting off, or you can, turn it off in the settings up in this upper right-hand corner if you don't want it to display it that way. But given that it's the default that Google has set up in Google Photos, I think it's safe to say this is the most common way the majority of users like to see their photos laid out. So we can see a nice, snapshot. You can definitely tell like if it's a more landscape mode kind of photo, like this one in the middle of the screen, the phone was probably, sideways landscape mode. If it's more of a, like portrait kind or vertical up and down, it was probably with the phone held more naturally in the hand. So that's what you're seeing with those kinds of images. If we scroll down even farther, we'll see things like this was a prize giveaway we gave at the conference. So we took a picture to help promote that as an option. The lower left-hand corner, you'll notice this pop-up that says you backed up 13 items. That is staying there. So it's saying add to album. Google's already, its AI is being smart and saying these photos all look related or they were taken around the same time period. Do you want to make an album? So we can say add an album. And we can either say it's going to be a shared album. I clicked on new album. So now I got to give it a title. It launched us a nice new window. And I can say this is the 34th NJALA conference, and it was in 2023. And I can add highlights, so I can, if I want to be really, give names to my pictures, I can add highlights. Here it's saying it's auto-selected 6 highlights for me. So I can go in and I can edit the highlights and see it picked what it thought were like the highlights of the day from the images captured. So a prize, an overview during like when people were checking in the morning, got 2 shots of that. It has some prize winners in there. These little blue check boxes in the upper left corners of each individual image is how I'm figuring that out. So you can see that in there. Sure, like if you agree and it did a fine job, you can say, okay, yep, that's fine. If you don't like the photos, you can always click on it. And then it gives you a little note in the bottom left, hold the shift and click on each. So hold shift on your keyboard and then click with the mouse on each photo you want to save. If you want to, go through and manually pick photos. So maybe this like slideshow one that's got the NJALA committee members, maybe that one I want to have highlighted instead. In the upper right-hand corner, though, it's got this auto select photos and it's a toggle on or off. So if you turn it off, anything that was selected stays selected. If you turn it on, it just means it's going to, whenever you make an album, it's going to just kind of pick the highlights. And you'll see it can say select 1 to 100 items. So if you went on vacation somewhere and you wanted to have a large, you took a lot of pictures, maybe over 1,000 pictures, you can say, auto select my 100, best ones. You can trust Google and let them kind of do the work to pull the best ones, or you can go through and meticulously pick out the ones that you think are the best, whichever is your preference. And when you're done with that portion, you click on done in the upper right-hand corner. All right. What happens if we click remove? That just removed that one image as the highlight reel. All the highlight reel. So if we do add highlights, it gives us a little snapshot. It says that's the, I don't know, the best picture from the list. If you want to remove any pictures, if you hover over it, it gives you an X on top of it. And if we hover over that X, it says remove and it'll pop up. But you can definitely look at images this way. If you need to add more photos, maybe more than one person from your group or your Google account needs to add photos, they can add them directly into the folder once you've established a folder. You can add text. So if you want to organize your photos a different way, you can always, grab one and you can move it and say, these 2 photos should be side by side together. Or maybe these 2 that look like they're in the auditorium, and you can continue to go through and add text so that you can kind of, share a memory or say, the photos below are from the keynote session. And we click off that bubble and it's saved our text. And if you don't like the text, you can always click in it to edit it. If I click off the text, it kind of gives me a little, it turns it into a bubble, which I can delete if I don't need the bubble or don't like the bubble. So it's kind of neat. You get some options. Like I think this photo should be side by side by this other aerial one. So how can we get it there? All right, we moved another one. So again, if I want to make another text box, I can click on text. If I want to add locations, I can click on that and I can either give it a map or I can type in the address. Google's going to be smart. So if I start saying it was at Mercer County Community College, and sure enough, there it is. I can click on that and that's saying, for those photos, that's where this location was taken. So if you, like I said, if you do like a vacation album, maybe you traveled to a lot of different places in one sitting, you could definitely tag it by group. with the photos around it, or you could rearrange them however you'd like to do. Then there's this sort photos, these arrows that are pointing up and down, and you can say, you want to do it custom. Custom is just like it's going to show the highlights first. If you do recently added, well, we just added all these photos, so it's kind of hard to say, but you'll notice it put the location tag Mercer County Community College and the note about what those photos were. It moved those text kind of boxes to the top, and then the photos are beneath it. But if you want to, as you grow your Google photo, you can say I want newest first, oldest first, however you'd like to do it. If we are done editing and we don't want to make any more notes to the photo album that we did, we click on this done checkbox that's on the upper left of the screen next to the words edit album. And that saved our location tag. It saved some, notes about the session of the day. And we can go back. Then we get a new pop-up box. And it's saying automatically back up photos from your computer. So you can download Google Drive to automatically back up photos into your Google Photos. I'm going to click on no thanks today just because this isn't something that I'm ready to set up for NJALA, but in your personal use, or if you're doing this for work, you can consider that option. Let's just see what happens when we click get started. So it's giving you some option, and it's saying, it knows that I'm on a Windows device, so it's saying, do you want to download it right away? Just from my personal experience, I stopped backing up my personal photos from my phone to my personal Google account. I had a free like 2 terabyte subscription to Google Photos. And so it was nice to have everything auto backing up. But when that subscription period ended and I didn't want to continue to pay a monthly subscription, it really messed up my personal Gmail account. I maxed out that 15 gigabytes, way, way over the amount. Couldn't send an email, couldn't get an email. So there was a lot of cleanup that had to be done. So again, just know that when you upload photos, especially videos, it's going to take over your account. So let's look at this new pop-up. In the upper right, it says your timeline has a few gaps. Add your missing memories now. So it's already saying, like if you scroll down, you go to the bottom of time, and on the right hand side of the screen, if you hover near the edge, you'll see there's like a little timeline that gets established. So like when I was saying, when I had it on my phone, like if there was, a new life event, that was nice because I could go to the year that it happened and narrow it by month and find the photos really quickly. But at the cost of that meant I couldn't do anything else with the Google account besides look at pictures. So we do have some gaps. We got May 24th, then we go to June, and then nothing again until November. So yeah, there are gaps, but NJALA also only meets like the one time a year at the big conference. So there's not a lot of pictures that get taken in between the times. So I don't have any more things to upload right now. So I'm going to say not now. Let's look back at the left-hand side at the menu. So we made an album today, and that's what we see here under albums. We got the 34th conference. If I click on that arrow, I can make it so that it still says albums, but it's not showing me the list of all the albums. If we wanted, clear the clutter, you can archive things. So maybe, I know I'm guilty of this. When I go on vacation, I'll take like a series of pictures, hoping nobody closed their eyes or whatever it was. If you have your best one, maybe you keep that in the album and you archive the other ones in here. Like it says, they still show up in the album and search results. You just don't have to see them when you click on photos and see all the photos in there. All right, if we click on explore, it gives us some ways that we can explore by. So if we mark something as one of our favorites, we can find it in there. Recently added, let's click on that one because we literally just uploaded them all. So we find them in there. Maybe we have a favorite photo, we can mark it. So if I just click on the photo, Here's our winners from awards at the banquet. So you'll see there's a star, same icon that it showed from favorite. So if I want to favorite that one, and it'll say easily find your favorites in your albums. Perfect. So, well, this is my only favorite one, so we don't need to view them all right now. I'm just going to click done, and that had that option in there. Now, yeah, there's some goofy shadows and things happening in this one. So if we click on fixed lighting, this is where that editing comes in. So it brightens some things up. It removes some of the shadows off the faces. If you're happy with that, you can click save. If you're not happy with the way that it auto corrected the photo, just click on the X and I'll do it again so you can see the difference. So look at the two winners' faces. There's some shadows along their faces. If we click on that edit again, now it gives us some more options. So Google's saying, okay, our auto fix you didn't like so much. How do you want to change it? So we can enhance that, definitely brightens the background. If you do dynamic, see, you have to unlock this feature with one of those Google One memberships. That's where you increase your storage on your Google, but it also gives you some other editing things. Color Pop does the same thing. It made our outfits shine a bit more, or we can make it black and white. Just be cautious, black and white sometimes makes the shadows worse. There's other options too. You can change the size. So if you were going to print straight from Google Photos, you can change the size. So if we wanted to zoom in or make it a little more like picture frame ready, we could do that. You can here see if it's got that one, that means Google One. That's that like monthly membership subscription. So these features, to unlock them, we got to pay for that account. Or if you want to go really, nitty gritty on the editing, we can remove shadows manually to our liking. We can change the saturation of the colors, the warmth of the image. You can go through and you can edit it. I know your phones, tablets, a lot of different software comes with these kinds of programs for free, whenever you're happy with the image. What's this last one to look through? All right, so this gives us some of those filters, things that you might be familiar with from your phone. So if you have a favorite filter, you want to mess with those, you can do all those. If you're done and you're happy with your color corrections and all those things, just click on save. And now it's giving us another pop-up copy text from image. So it's going to take the text from like those little plaques if we want to have that in there, and see, and now it made it like a nice little blurb. Like if you do website design, there's ADA compliance rules. Anytime you show a picture, you're supposed to have a text description. So if someone is visually impaired, if they want to read it or they want to have it read to them to describe the image, it's in there. So that's what that does. And it used Google Lens to get that AI and do that work for us. So we didn't have to manually zoom in, read those plaques, and type it ourselves. All right. Enough of that image, but you'll see, like, if I move my cursor around the screen, if I go to the left, I can pull up a different image. Same thing if we go to the right, I can go back to that one. And it's just scrolling through my album and the pictures that we have uploaded so far today. All right. Let's go back to just our general Explore category. So remember, we just did a favorite. We just made a favorite. So let's look. And sure enough, if we sort by favorites, we find that image in there. If you love that picture and they truly are your favorites, you can go right there to order photos. You can do a photo book, the physical prints, or you can turn it into a canvas print. So that's kind of neat that they have that in there. We'll look at shopping a little bit, but we won't focus on it too much. The saved creations, if you're we haven't made one yet, but if you are really going to get into the editing or you're going to pay to unlock some of those other features, you may end up with like a video montage or something. You can make it in there. The collages are kind of neat. the more photos you add, it'll arrange them for you, and then you can make like a poster, or if you needed to make a graphic, maybe you need to do a presentation, um, to a member group or something. You can show a lot of, convey a lot of information in images without having to use words. So when you have a lot of pictures, it'll start creating them for you. I know from my past experience with Google, if you have like memories, like we're coming up on the holiday season. So if you always took a picture of like a tree lighting or a winter festival and you saved them every year, just like you might be familiar with Facebook shows you your memories and then you can reshare them. Um, Google Photos does a similar thing, and it'll say, remember this date, and then it'll give you the date and where you were and who's in the picture. If you're using your phone and you have screenshots, selfies, videos, you can search by that too. So lots of different ways that you can use Google Photos and find your pictures faster. Let's look now at sharing. So sharing is easy to do in Google, just as it is in every other uh, Google platform. So you get some options. You can, create a shared album. So if you need to create a new album to share that's just got the photos they need to have, you can do that. And here you can look at other shared links. We haven't shared any, albums through Google yet, so that we're not going to have any in there. Or you can share with a partner. The share with a partner thing is really neat if you want to share with like family members in particular, and you don't want them to all end up on all the images show up on social media. So like maybe you and your partner have a child and the child goes to a field trip and only one of you is the chaperone, but you want to see the pictures like you're there all day. So you can say like, I want to share a selected date. If you were going on the field trip today, you could put in today's date, the time that you're going. And you can select just for that time you're going. You can say, I want to search with like certain people's. If you're taking lots of images and saving them to Google, it's going to start grouping people by face, which is kind of neat if you have pets or kids. Like you can kind of watch them grow and change through this AI platform. So the face grouping technology, it does work well, but like it says, it isn't perfect. And like I'll share from my personal experience, like I have two little boys. They're not twins, but they definitely look very similar. And sometimes Google just doesn't get it right, especially if they're wearing like the same shirt. It really has a hard time differentiating who's who, which is kind of funny. But yeah, this partner sharing can be really useful. If you click on next, then it'll say, well, who do you want to share it with? And you can pick a person from your most recent contacts, or you can type in their email directly. We're not going to set it up today because we don't have that many pictures to share, but in the moment, it can be a really neat way to do it. All right, let's look at let's look at the print store. So, it's coming up on the holiday time. So of course their thing is all marketed geared towards getting you your gift before Christmas, it looks like. So like if you want to do a canvas print, they're giving you dates you need to have your order in by. And then they give you some pricing options. So photo books start at about $15, prints from 18 cents, etc. So if you needed to order prints, or maybe you're going to make like a save the date card or a thank you card, and you're going to use one of your images and send it to people, it'll give you an idea of some images, what, has made for good prints before. But you can click get started, and then it's pretty much saying you can select up to 1,200 items, and you'll go through and you can either manually select or you can use it by date. So like if I just click on Tuesday, January 6th, the date, it clicked all of those images. I don't have to go through and click on each one. But if there was one that was better than another, like maybe I was like, oh, I don't need 2 shots of that auditorium, so I just need the one. I can just click on the one I want to get rid of to get the blue check mark away, and the rest stay there. When you're all done, you can click on the word done, and then it kind of brings you into edit mode again. It's another way you can edit. It'll default to a 4x6 print. If that's not what you need, you can click on that word and then you can change it this way. And it says, the smaller print sizes are delivery or pickup in store. Anything larger is by delivery only. You can say, apply my change to all prints. If you needed to make them a little bigger, you can apply it, and then it adjusts it a little bit on the screen. Gives you an idea if there's any cropping. If we continue looking through, if there's an error with an image, like we'll see it's got a red circle with an exclamation point in it. So low resolution, I can see that on the screen. And sometimes, that's the type of phone or tablet, the camera quality it's with, or just how the image was edited before it was uploaded. That can all affect it. So if you got images that have the low resolution and you're like, okay, I won't print those, you can always just click the X and take them out of there. And then you don't have to worry about paying for a print that the computer's already identified it's not going to work out. In the upper left corner, it tells us, it's showing us a preview and it's saying we have 6 pictures selected. If you wanted to go in and add more photos, you get that option on the upper right. If you're ready to complete your order, you can click on next, and then it's going to give you the pricing options. So if you want to ship it somewhere or you want to pick it up somewhere and the details, you can click on, you can get all that info. I'm not actually going to order any of these pictures, so. But look, it's saying even though I started an order, it's given me 30 days to go back. So if I want to go back at some point, I can click save. I'll do that just so we can see what happens. But like I said, we're not going to spend too much on the printing. So let's look at utilities. So now it's saying, do I want to create a new highlight video? And it gives you some ideas. So like I said, if you have kids, if you have pets, maybe you're getting married, if you got a life event coming up and there's going to be a sequence of photos or memories, maybe you want to make a movie about those things. That can be like a neat, digital share, or a gift, or, anything you need to do. So if you need to get started in that, like you want to make a cat video, you can start having a cat video. And it's saying, like, I don't have enough face groups. Like I said, Google's going to be smart, and whenever you take pictures of people or pets, it's going to look for similarities in those pictures and group them together. So if that's your thing, you can click it in there. Sometimes Google will just automatically make it for you to kind of tease you into using this product. We covered archive a little before. Remember, I said if you take multiple shots, but you only want to keep the best one in the photo reel, you can take the backup photos, if you will, and put them in the archive. If you need to make a locked folder, it's going to ask you to verify that it's actually your account, but you might, like if you're using it for work, maybe you've got multiple branch locations like we have at Somerset County, and you want to take a photo and only share it with certain people, or give them access to the one folder, but not every picture you have, you can put it in there. And then of course you have your trash for any deleted items you have. And if you ever get in a menu and you get stuck and you don't know where to go, you can always click on the words Google Photo in the upper left, and then it'll take you back to your home screen. If you end up uploading a ton of photos and you can't find what photo you had in mind, like you could type in keywords. So it'll say, like, do you want to look at your favorites? If you click on favorites, it'll show you that one. Again, if you get lost, click on that. If you want to look for a date, like you can say May. If you type in the word May, and I knew we had a photo for there, it'll show you any pictures that were taken in that month. So there's lots of ways you can get organized or stay organized. Lots of neat products in Google Photos. I'm going to show you my work account, Google Photos. Let's give it a second to swap over. There it is. Because I just got some other pictures to show you. And for Google for Work, it's a paid account. So we may have some other options here, but you'll see along the left-hand side, so far everything's the same. Not too many exciting pictures. Like some of these are from the conference that we were just looking at from NJALA's account, but there's already some AI happening. April, so the best of April highlights. We had a little renovation in my library. So let's see what those highlights are and see, like, AI made this movie for me. Like I didn't put this together, but it was saying like this was a milestone day. Like the AI could just tell like furniture moving must be a big deal. So we had some new things happening. So like you can see across the top of the screen, like it's giving it maybe like 3 to 5 seconds per photo as it's showing us. Like I said, Google did all of that. I didn't have to do any of that work for it. But it gives me some prompts. So if I didn't like that photo reel, it was giving me options to do it. Here's another prompt, receive notifications if there's something special to view. So if I have a memory that I want to come back on, or I let Google do its AI thing and make me all sorts of things. So sure, if I want to have that, I can say get notified. Another pop-up pops up in the upper left, and I can say, yeah, sure, show me notifications. So, but you'll see, we just watched this best of April video. It had 6 highlights, but look at how many pictures. There's definitely, 2 times, 3 times that amount of pictures. So it picked the best ones it thought from that bunch that represented that day. And just some other pictures of things. Here's another, like an older one of like fall decorations. So something that it made on our behalf, not anything that I put together. So neat that Google does that. Like I said, definitely for your own needs, like check it out with the faces. Like, I'm always amazed at how well it can group my kids or my pets. It does a pretty good job of that. So, but yeah, there's not really any other. Here's like this is a new charging station for phones and tablets and things that we have at our branch. So let's see if we go to edit, if we get some of those settings that said we needed a Google One membership on the free account. So it looks like we have kind of the same options there. Yep, so a couple of things that we didn't have in the other ones, like adjusting the brightness. I don't see anything that has that little #1 symbol that says it's unavailable. Yep, and all the filters are there. So yeah, if we want to see that in black and white or alpaca, you can change the features. Of course, you can zoom in on an image. When you're done with an image, if you want us to save it as it is, you click save. If you're done with it, you X out and you can say, discard my edits, undoes everything you did, or keep editing, let you keep playing with it. All right. So that, in a nutshell, is all I wanted to show you about Google Photos. I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint so you can see some of the resources that I used to help put this together. Thank you for joining today. I'm going to stop the video here so we can get into the Q&A.